Hey guys, Coach Christine Hinton here for some coachly wisdom. This is actually take 2 of this video. I know that I had said that I was going to be like the one take wonder person here, and I had every intention of doing that, except my dog started barking like crazy. And at first I was trying to talk over it, and then I kind of lost train of thought, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to redo this whole video. So today what I wanted to talk about was when you start to lack motivation during your runs. And running, like anything else in life, you have good days, you have bad days. There are days where the runs are going to suck and you're not going to feel like doing it. There's days where you're going to feel fantastic and everything's going to line up beautifully. But sometimes we get stuck into a rut where, it's 1 day, it's 2 days, it's 3 days, and you just can't get over that lackluster feeling and no desire to go for a run or do any kind of workouts. So what do? First thing you do is you have to rule out overtraining. You want to make sure that you don't have any of the signs of overtraining. Overtraining can be being moody, not having any desire at all to go for your workouts, and then when you do, they all just suck and you feel heavy and it just doesn't feel good. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Again, being grumpy and things like that. Maybe your body has some aches and pains. And another thing is if you have an elevated resting heart rate, if you have a heart rate monitor, which I know a lot of us run with those now, check your resting heart rate for a few days and maybe compare it to a resting heart rate that you had a few weeks ago. And even a couple of beats per minute bump up could mean that either you're getting sick or maybe you are overtraining. And that kind of lends itself to the possibility of being injured. So we definitely, if you feel like you're overtraining, depending on the severity of your overtraining, my first suggestion is to take 1 week completely off from running. You can do some activities. I'm a firm believer in active recovery. So I do believe that you can do something. I would just tend for it to be on the lighter side, nothing that's going to induce any muscle soreness. Things like some light biking, walking is fine, swimming, yoga, restorative type yoga, things like that are fine to do. Then after a week off, hop back out on the streets or the trails, go for 3 or 4 miles. Very easy, feel it out, see how you're feeling. If you still are feeling awful, then you go a whole nother week. If you're feeling better, then you can slowly incorporate yourself back up and take about 2-3 weeks to get yourself back up to speed of where you were before in your training. Don't just dive straight back into where you were. If you determine that, in fact, it's not overtraining, that you're just don't feel like it anymore. Maybe you just finished a race, your goal race, and now you're kind of in that weird time. They have the post-marathon blues. Maybe you're not someone that's racing and you just need some motivation to help keep going. For me, I find that at least most people that hire coaches, and probably most people that are Googling videos and looking at videos, tend to have a fair amount of good self-motivating factors that get you out there every morning. You don't need someone to, be banging on the door to get you up in the morning. However, there are some things that you can do to kind of spice up your training, spice up your running, make it a little bit more fun again, kind of find that love of running again that maybe you had a couple months ago that sometimes can get lost when we really train seriously and hard. So we want to switch things up. The first thing I would switch up is when and where you run. Many of us are early morning runners. We get out there at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning and do our little loop. We do 1 loop on Tuesdays and 3 loops with a 1 tempo loop on Thursdays or whatever. So kind of break that cycle that is so that's making your running not exciting anymore. Maybe try working out at a different time of the day. If lunch is available and you have a gym or something, that's awesome. I actually now prefer to work out more in the afternoons and evenings. I'm a teaching assistant during the school year, so I couldn't get up super early, but with my back issues, my body and everybody's body is more warmed up by the afternoon and evening, so it makes working out for me, I can do more, I can push myself more because my body's been moving around all day. So switching up where you are, where you're running, when you're running, getting new shoes, as silly as that sounds, or a new outfit, a new pair of shorts, or tights, or a cool shirt. As silly as that sounds, that can be a motivating factor. and kind of making you want to get back out there if you look super cute or cool. Um, Thirdly, if you're someone that's always out there by yourself, and I get that, I am like a solo runner for the most part, but when I am training for something bigger, I do definitely incorporate either a partnership with a friend on 1 or 2 runs a week, and I absolutely will join group runs. Most communities, if not all, have running groups nearby. We have Annapolis Striders, we have a Baltimore Running Club, we've got Howard County Striders. Prince George's County, I think, has a running club. So we have tons of options. I will typically run with the Annapolis Striders. When I was training for marathons and ultras, I would go on the weekends to their long run groups. This might be a small cost in joining. Usually, it's not bad at all, and it ends up being really worth it. You get to meet new people, and suddenly your track workout that you're joining them for, or your long run is over before you know it, because you've had other people there with you to kind of help get through it. Plus, you make friends, which is always nice. Lastly, or fourthly, I should say, there's absolutely more options, but if you are doing cross-training activities, and maybe that's an area, if you feel like you don't want to switch up your running, or you can't switch up your running, maybe you want to look to your cross-training activities. If you're a typical, biker on the days you don't run, or you do strength training or whatever, look into something different. While it's still warm out, maybe you want to go out and do a water activity. Maybe you want to do some stand-up paddleboarding or canoeing or rowing. Maybe you want to do inline skating. And don't laugh, because I actually was looking. There's like these new ones. I keep getting it popped up on my Facebook thing, where you actually just stick your sneaker into almost like a ski, but instead of a ski boot, you just wear your sneaker and you click it in to these little skates, and you can go skating. Now, I don't know, maybe I'd fall on my face, I don't know, but that looked like a nice, low-impact activity that you can do outside and still get some aerobic benefit from. Of course, there's all kinds of cool classes out there, from the kickboxing that I've been trying to do, to bar routines, to Pilates, yoga. A quick Google search will probably give you 1,000 different classes within a reasonable radius of where you're at. Sometimes doing that can kind of boost your overall motivation for fitness and for racing, if that's what you're into. So I think with those 4 things, after you've ruled out the possibility of overtraining, incorporating those 4 things that I mentioned, hopefully will boost your motivation a little bit. Also, getting a coach can be helpful, because we do hold you accountable. RRCA website has a list of all the certified coaches. Great place to start. Okay, so that is my coachly wisdom for this day, Thursday. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and keep the questions coming, and run happy.